Meeting of 2023. Today, the Campaign Finance Board will be voting on enforcement actions from two 2019 special elections and on public payments for the upcoming 2023 elections. The first item of business on our agenda is the approval of the minutes from May 15th, 2023. I move the approval of the minutes. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. The next item on our agenda is to vote on the public funds payment. And before we do that, I'd like to sort of give a brief introduction. So everyone watching today's meeting understands the important role that public matching funds plays in our electoral system. Matching funds give more candidates the opportunity to run for office, which makes our local democracy more inclusive, more representative, and more accountable to the public interest. Today, the board will approve the 7th scheduled payment for the 2023 elections, and I'd like to focus for a moment on what candidates need to do to qualify and on the work that goes into getting those payments into the candidates' hands. Before they can receive matching funds, candidates in this election, all for City Council, must show a basic threshold level of support from the people they hope to represent. They must raise 75 contributions from residents in their districts and at least $5,000 in valid matching claims, that is, in small donor contributions from New Yorkers. They must also comply with the laws and board rules that apply to raising money and campaigning. For the previous payments in this election, between December and May, our staff had about a month to review all the candidates' disclosures to help us determine which candidates have met threshold and qualify for payment and how much. But in these last several weeks before the primary election, our process changes slightly. Now that the ballot for the primary has been set by the Board of Elections, only candidates who are on the ballot and have an opponent may receive payment for the primary election. There are 21 contested seats in these primary elections out of a total of 51 City Council seats, and today's payments are focused in those districts. And because we are within 45 days of the primary, the law requires that we make payment within 4 business days of the most recent disclosure filing, which was due to the board 1 week ago on May 26. There's a lot of work that goes into preparing for a day like today. Certainly, candidates must work hard to qualify. On our end, the staff guides those candidates through the process and makes sure they know what they need to do to file their disclosures. Our staff processes those filings to make them available for review. For today's payment, our audit staff worked long hours through the Memorial Day weekend and throughout the days since to review the 10 weeks worth of fundraising activity in the last disclosure filing and to validate candidates' claims for matching funds. That work ensures we pay the right candidates the right amounts at this important moment on the election calendar. Audit staff also evaluated campaigns' responses to reviews of the previous filings in March to prepare for today's payments. There will be one more payment made prior to the primary election on June 27th, which will be conducted on the very same tight timetable. The Act provides 5 more opportunities between July and November for candidates to qualify for payment in the general election. The final 2 of those in October and November are also 4-day turnaround payments. I would like to recognize and commend our hardworking staff for their commitment and their diligence and their persistence through some challenging times. I do also want to acknowledge that we experienced some technical challenges that temporarily blocked campaigns' access to our disclosure filing system, which is called CSmart, in the days leading up to this last filing. This is an area where we absolutely need to do better, and my promise is that we will be focused on improving the technology we provide to candidates in the months ahead. With that said, today the staff have recommended a total of 34 candidates in the primary election for payment of public funds totaling $1,759,172. I'm going to now read the detail of which candidates are getting which amounts, and then I'll put it to the board for a vote. In District 1, Ursula Young, $41,458. Also in District 1, Susan Lee, $48,237. And also in District 1, Christopher, no, just those two, sorry. In District 2, Carlina Rivera, $43,700. Also in District 2, Allison Ryan, $51,923. In District 9, Inez Dickens, $35,416. Also in District 9, Yusef Salam, $116,607. And also in District 9, Al Taylor, $87,316. In District 12, Aisha Ahmad, $48,488. In District 13, Bernadette Ferrara, $19,760. Also in District 13, George Havranek, $47,500. Also District 13, Christy Marmorato, $32,262. And again in District 13, Marjorie Velasquez, $97,477. District 14, Rachel Bradshaw, $11,134. Also in District 14, Pierina Sanchez, $45,471. In District 19, Tony Avella, $24,236. Also in District 19, Christopher Bay, $15,124. And also District 19, Paul Graziano, $29,336. In District 23, Steve Behar, $42,370. Also District 23, Linda Lee, $174,800. And again in District 23, Rubaya Rahman, $96,539. District 25, Ricardo Pancheca, $30,476. In District 26, Haley Kim, $8,550. In District 29, Ethan Felder, $52,930. Also in District 29, Sukinder Nijar, $174,724. In District 41, Darlene Neely, $43,462. In District 42, Chris Banks, $40,850. Also in District 52, Charles Barron, $8,721. In District 43, Wai Chan, $26,828. And also in District 43, Stanley Ng, $15,683. Again in District 43, Ying Tan, $89,110. In District 44, Kalman Yeager, $4,248. District 47, Ari Kagan, $39,801. District 48, Igor Kazatskar, $70,935. Also in District 48, Ina Vernikov, $43,700, for a total of 34 candidate payments totaling $1,759,172. I move the approval of those public funds payments. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The motion carries. The next item on our agenda is a candidate appearance. The candidate was a candidate for a public advocate in the special election of 2019, Latrice Walker. Before I ask Ms. Walker or her representative and our attorney to appear, I would like to note that our board member, Dawn Smalls, will be recused from deliberations on this matter. Ms. Smalls was also a candidate in that election and has asked to recuse herself from any consideration so as not to interrupt the meeting. Ms. Smalls will stay here for the discussion, but when we go to deliberate, she will not be present during the deliberations and will not be participating in any way. So do we have somebody appearing? Yes. Oh, sorry. Hello. And do we have a representative? Is somebody coming on screen? All right. Just give us a moment.
There's a representative for Latrice Walker here. The member will be on in a moment.
Okay, thank you very much.
I'm so sorry. She's still speaking. She'll be down shortly.
Okay.
She'll be here 10 seconds.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Welcome. I'm glad you could join us. Now we can even see you and we can hear you just fine. So that's great. So welcome. Before we begin, I'd just like to repeat an announcement I made before you came online, and that is one of the members of our board, Dawn Smalls, who was also a candidate in the special election for public advocate, has recused herself from any participation in the matter before us, this particular matter before us this morning. So let me just sort of briefly state the procedure. It's really very simple. I'm going to ask the CFB's attorney to basically state what the issue is before us. Then you'll be given an opportunity to say whatever you would like to say. And she may respond, or there may be questions from the board. We'll go back and forth until everybody is satisfied. And then we will go into deliberations, come back after deliberations and announce our decision, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Good, all right, I'm glad. So
good morning, board member Smalls.
if you,
It's good to see you again.
If you would just wait a moment, I'm going to ask our attorney, Jennifer Frentz, to just tee up the issue for us. Would you go ahead and do that, please?
Okay.
Sure, absolutely. Good morning, Chair Schaefer, members of the board, and New York Assembly member Latrice Walker. I'm Jennifer Ferentz, an attorney for the CFB, and with me remotely is Leandro Flores, who's a CFB auditor. Before the board is the matter of the Walker campaign in the 2019 A special election for public advocate. Latrice Walker was a participant in the program and did not receive public funds. The CFB staff recommends that the board find that the campaign committed the following 3 violations: failing to disclose a political committee, failing to provide a merchant account statement, and accepting over the limit contributions. The campaign contests some of these recommended violations.
Thank you. Okay, Assemblywoman Walker, the floor is now yours.
So thank you. Relations again for me, please. Hello?
Yes, you're cutting in and out a little bit. Try again.
Okay, I repeat the 3 violations. Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
With some difficulty.
Oh,
There are some pauses.
Can we suggest maybe that she shut her video? That might help.
okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, good idea. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. I was asking whether or not the attorney can repeat the 3 violations again for me.
Yes, absolutely. So the first is failing to disclose a political committee. The second is failing to provide a merchant account statement. And the third is accepting over the limit contributions.
Okay, so I am here today to discuss the over the limit violation, I guess, first. The Walker for New York campaign did initially request to participate in the matching funds program. However, prior to the conclusion of the election, the campaign was suspended. There was no more fundraising, which was taking place. And once the campaign was suspended, we were without a mechanism, for requesting to be removed from the matching funds program. And quite frankly, even from the ballot. But and so because the campaign was suspended and did not reap the benefit of being in the matching funds program nor received any matching funds, I believe that, in the interest of justice and fairness, that this violation be removed from the campaign, simply because it, what we look at campaign finance as being a benefit, something that would encourage more women and women of color to run for office, because we don't have the avenues that may be available to many individuals who have the money to be able to run for office. And so it's generally looked at as an equalizer or leveler of the playing field. And so to allow it, in, I guess in this case, to move forward, takes this program, instead of using it as a shield to protect people and allow them and encourage them to run, it becomes a sword in this case, because number one, we never even got to realize its full potential. And so as this is just sort of my request to the board, when you are in your deliberations, that, in the interest of justice, that you would be willing to remove the violations from the campaign. Otherwise, I guess I'm just even trying to figure out like what would even be the mechanisms by which to come up with the resources to be able to cover those violations. I'm sure that your attorneys may be able to provide some insight as to that, but I'm just not, really sure which way to begin or whether or not it's even possible to do so. So thank you very much for your time today. And I look forward to engaging further with you about the topic.
Ms. Carnes, would you like to respond?
Sure. Of course, while I definitely hear those concerns, I do want to point out that we have had several interactions with the campaign over time, and especially with regards to accepting over the limit contributions. The campaign had a chance to submit responsive materials for the DAR response and with the DAR extensions, again, with the enforcement notice response. So we're simply applying the board rules as we do to all campaigns.
Yeah, I might point out, Assemblymember Walker, that there was an over the limit contribution which your campaign did refund, but then there were about 8 others that you did not refund. And I was wondering whether you could address the question of why those contributions were not funded.
I am not able to address that at the moment. Would I be able to put you on hold and refer to my colleague who was affiliated with the campaign to be able to assist in answering that question?
How long would that take?
1 moment, maybe 2 minutes.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Thank you. So I did have a conversation with my compliance person, and one of the things that she indicated was that it was possibly a funds issue, and that the campaign did not have the funds by which to return the over the limit amounts as was discussed in the letters or communications with the campaign finance board. But in an exercise of good faith in our compliance protocols, we were able to return the one as was indicated by you, sir.
Okay. I have a question for CFB counsel. Am I correct that even if a candidate is not participating at all in the public funds program, just a candidate, that these restrictions would apply? In other words, this would still be a violation?
Yes, that's correct.
In other words, the contribution limit applies whether you're a participating candidate or not.
Yes, that's correct.
All right, are there any other questions or comments from any members of the board? Assemblymember Walker, do you have anything further you want to say?
That would be all, sir. Thank you.
Okay, well, we're going to go into deliberations now, and we'll be back in a little while. We have one other penalty matter before us involving a candidate who did not appear today. So we'll deliberate as to both of those matters, and we'll be back shortly. Thank you very much.
Should I stay on the Zoom?
It's up to you.
Yeah, sure, if you'd like to, absolutely.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, thank you. So the board has deliberated, and I'm going to, well, let's take this one at a time. So I'm going to propose first, with respect to candidate Zamela Rose, who was a candidate for the city council in the 2019 special election. The board, I'm proposing that the board find the following violations and impose the following penalties and public funds repayment. 1, failing to document transactions, $149. 2, accepting over the limit contributions, $375. 3, accepting contributions from corporations, limited liability companies, or partnerships, $6,770. 4, failing to demonstrate that spending was in furtherance of the campaign, violation but no penalty. 5, impermissible post-election expenditures, $1,804, for total penalties of $9,098. Public funds repayment of $15,892 for a grand total of $24,990. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, the motion carries. Second, with respect to candidate Latrice Walker, a candidate for public advocate in the 2019 special election, I move that the board find the following violations and impose the following penalties. 1, failing to disclose a political committee, $100. 2, failing to provide merchant account statements, $50. 3, accepting over the limit contributions, $3,325, for total penalties of $3,475. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, the motion.
I'm recused.
Yes, please note that board member Dawn Smalls is recused from this matter, and so the vote is 3 in favor and none opposed and no abstentions. So that motion carries. At this time, I move that we go into an executive session, and there being no business that we need to report back to from the executive session, that we adjourn directly from the executive session. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. We are finished with our business for today. Thank you very much.
Thank you.